Alright, I ain't gonna do no huge ass intro whatsoever. You see the title of this video. You are a foreigner on our ancestral land. Okay? Now, we're gonna deal with this, okay? Because as the last video that I just uploaded today, alright, went in to the fact that you cannot ignore history. Like, this is what has been happening. Alright? The history that took place against the indigenous people of all the lands that have been colonized, including this land, the fourth part of the earth, people are literally wanting to ignore that history and claim that it has no bearing on our circumstances. It has no bearing on why other nations have been able to live lavishly while we have been in poverty. Okay? Now, as I stated, ain't gonna be no long intro. Alright? We're gonna go over here. Man, hold on a second. Because, let's see if I can bring it up now. There we go. Alright, cool. Now, there we go. Okay. And I am gonna mute the video because I had recorded the audio from it. Okay? So,
jumping right in, we're checking out a map of the inhabitants of America. See what they look like. Even the people in the background. See what they look like. It looks like they're bringing gold. A bunch of gold. And check out.
And you see the cross in the background. What looks like to be a white man hanging on the cross. And you got this woman holding the cross in her hand with the sun behind her head. Alright, holding open a book. And our people bowing down, bringing gold to this European who's holding this cross, sitting down with an open book. Okay? Like our people were worshiping the Europeans, okay, when they first came over here, you know, and brung that Christianity and all of that, you know, bruh, you can see it depicted within this picture, you know, how we were reverencing them, alright, following after their God, okay? Now, this is biblical prophecy. Okay, it was prophesied that we will be worshiping gods of wood and stone. Okay, now hold on. Excuse me. Alright, Deuteronomy 28:36 from the King James Bible. The Most High shall allow thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. And there we will serve other gods, both wood and stone. Okay? Now, a great portion of our people are worshiping the God of Christianity. The wooden cross represents Christianity. Okay? Now, another portion of our people, a great majority, you know, the most do this Christianity, but, you know, there's another that does the Islam. Okay? And the cobblestone represents Islam. Okay? Now, this is exactly what happened to the indigenous seed of all the lands that have been colonized. But I deal with this land here, okay, because this is the land that I am a living witness upon, okay? And I can only speak about what I have experienced in my life here in this land, okay? I'm a living witness of it, okay? Now, let's see here. This is exactly what happened via your religions, okay? And all of it stems from the abominable church. This is exactly what happened. And it was done by force. It was done with the sword. Okay? Colonization happened to non-Christian lands. Okay? Islam had went first, okay? So a lot of our people were worshiping, the Kaaba stone, and they were following Islam. And so when the Roman Catholic Church put out the edicts, okay, like your papal bulls, it was to search out even the Muslims, okay? Search out the lands that were anyone but Christian. Okay, so if you were not Christian, then they had the authority. They gave themselves the authority to rape, rob, murder, and just steal lands. Okay, steal people. All right, steal all the resources. All right, claim seas and harbors. All right, this is what your abominable church did. Okay, and all your religions stems from this abominable church. Okay? Come on, bruh. This is taking forever to load. Now, this is not righteousness. Okay? This was absolute wickedness. And as you can see, this came from the papacy. Okay? The abominable church. Alright? This is just one of many papal bulls. Okay? But this was sent out in 1452. Alright? To reduce, you see this? Muslims. Reduce any Muslims. Alright? Pagans, they called us pagans because we weren't Christians, and any other so-called unbelievers, all right, reduce us to perpetual slavery. Okay, so your abominable church is the hand that caused this captivity of not only us, but all of humanity and all of creation. Okay? All of your religions stems from the false prophet, okay? One of the heads of the three-headed beast of the revived Roman Empire that has been here, okay? Enslavement of indigenous, non-Christian people in not only Africa, but also the so-called New World. It was unknown to the Europeans. Okay? It was new to them. It was new to the colonizer. It was not new to us, the indigenous seed of this land. But they had the authority given to them from the papacy and also from the King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all non-Christians whatsoever and other enemies of the Antichrist. Okay? Because they came bringing the Antichrist. So they claim possession of islands, lands, harbors, and seas. Okay? They took our lands and all our resources by force. And they've been able to live lavishly this entire damn time. And now all of a sudden the Pope has repudiated the papal bull, yet still has yet to restore the people. The damage has been done to the people. And people that look like him has been able to live high on the hog. But he said the doctrine was invoked as a legal and religious standing by Europeans who quote-unquote discovered new lands and violently seized it from people who had been living there for generations. It has been cited in different arenas for centuries, including by the U.S. Supreme Court as early as 1823 and as recently as 2005. Quote, the statement repudiates the very mindsets and worldview that gave rise to the original papal bulls, end quote. The Reverend David McCullum, executive director of the Program for Discerning Leadership based in Rome, told NPR. Quote, it renounces the mindset of cultural or racial superiority, which allowed for that objectification or subjection of people, and strongly condemns any attitudes or actions that threaten or damage the dignity of the human. Alright? But however, the damage has been done. We don't have our land. We don't have our freedom. Physically. The doctrine came from papal bulls in the 15th century. The doctrine was laid out in a series of papal bulls or decrees. The first one was issued in 1452. Again, they authorized colonial powers such as Spain and Portugal to seize lands and subjugate people in Africa and the so-called New World, as long as people on the lands were not Christians. He no longer claims to be the vicar of Christ now. I wonder how come all of a sudden he's backing out of all of this. I think the Pope knows something that you don't know. I think the Pope is very well aware of things that the general public is unaware of. They know what they have done. So, they did it for this. And we're going to connect it to the scripture. Alright? Because all of this was done through colonization. But you want to sweep all of this under the rug. Like this don't matter. Like this ain't the freaking problem. But we're the problem. We're the racist. We're the hateful ones. Really? Let's see here. And it came to pass that I beheld this great and abominable church, and I saw the devil, that he was the founder of it. And I also saw gold, and silver, and silks, and scarlets, and fine twined linen, and all manner of precious clothing. And I saw many harlots, and an angel spake unto me, saying, Behold, the gold, the silver, and the silks, and the scarlets, and the fine twined linen, and the precious clothing, and the harlots are the desires of this great and abominable church. And also, for the praise of the world, do they destroy the saints of the Most High, and bring them down into captivity. And it came to pass that I looked and beheld many waters. Let me go ahead and get this one right here, so you can get an image. And it came to pass that I looked and beheld many waters. See this? The North Atlantic Ocean, the South Atlantic Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, all of this many waters, okay? Separating the fourth part from the three parts. And they divided the Gentiles, and they divided the Gentiles from the seed of my brethren. And it came to pass that the angel said unto me, Behold, the wrath of the Most High is upon the seed of my brethren. The only reason it says the wrath of God is because he withdrew protection from us due to our wickedness. And it was prophesied. It was prophecy fulfilled. Gentiles upon the land of promise. And I beheld that the wrath of the Most High, that it was upon the seed of my brethren. And we were smitten, we were scattered before the Gentiles. Connects to Deuteronomy chapter 28. This is Christopher Columbus, and I looked and beheld a man among the Gentiles, who was separated from the seed of my brethren by the many waters. And I beheld an evil spirit came down and wrought upon the man, and he went forth upon the many waters, even unto the seed of my brethren, who were in the promised land. This is how they got their wealth. Then they want to proclaim to the world that they're praying for the poor, while they hold on to every single thing that they stole from the indigenous seed of the lands in which they colonized. And you are joined hand in hand with these wicked people. But they know who we are, and they ain't telling you. Look at that. Woolly hair. They know who we are. He knows who we are. They know. That's why he no longer wants to be the vicar of Christ, because he knows he ain't. They are the Antichrist. The Antichrist did this already. And it has yet to be rectified. You think this is gonna go on like nothing, like this did not happen. And the indigenous seed continues to be trodden underfoot. You got another thing coming. Hold on a second. Hopefully it didn't lose my place, bro. Man, it lost my place. Come on. You can't be serious. Bro, I lost my place. I gotta find out where I'm at.
A bunch of gold. And check out the face in the sun.
Alright, hold on. Hopefully this is paired up right, but I don't know. Welcoming them. Okay? Yes, when you first came over here, and that's another thing. When the Europeans first came over here, we welcomed you. Okay? So hold on a second. Let me get that. Let me get the connection to that. Second. Just a moment. Island of Hispaniola. Okay, and this one too. All right. This was in 1542. Okay, 1542. The Most High created all of these numberless people to be quite the simplest, without malice or duplicity, most obedient, most faithful to their natural lords, and to the Christians whom they serve, the most humble, most patient, most peaceful and calm, without strife, nor tumults, not wrangling, nor querulous, as free from uproar, hate, and desire of revenge as any in the world. Among these gentle sheep, gifted by their Maker with the above qualities, the Spaniards entered as soon as they knew them, like wolves, tigers, and lions, which had been starving for many days. And since 40 years they have done nothing else, nor do they afflict, torment, and destroy them with strange and new and diverse kinds of cruelty never before seen, nor heard of, nor read of. The Christians with their horses and swords and lances began to slaughter and practice strange cruelty among them. They penetrated into the country and spared neither children nor the aged, nor pregnant women, nor those in child labor, all of whom they ran through the body and lacerated, as though they were assaulting so many lambs herded in their sheepfold. And this connects to the scripture. Again, a nation of fierce countenance. The curses of disobedience. This is what we went through because of our disobedience. A ruthless nation with no respect for the old and no pity for the young. They destroyed us. Isaiah 47:6. The Most High was upset with us because of our iniquity. So he allowed his heritage to be profaned. He allowed us to go up under your control, Gentile. And you have shown us no mercy. Even on the elderly, you laid a most heavy yoke. So you've done this to us. That's biblical prophecy fulfilled. You will make bets as to who would slit a man in two, or cut off his head at one blow, or they opened up his bowels. They tore the babes from their mother's breasts by the feet and dashed their heads against the rocks. Others they seized by the shoulders and threw into the rivers, laughing and joking. And when the babies fell into the water, they exclaimed, "Boy, oh body of so-and-so." They splitted the bodies of other babes together with their mothers and all who were before them on their swords. They made gallows just high enough for the feet to nearly touch the ground, and by 13s, in honor and reverence of their Redeemer and the 12 apostles, they put wood underneath, and with fire they burned the Indians alive. They wrapped our bodies. They wrapped bodies of others entirely in dry straw, binding them in it and setting fire to it. And so they burned them. They cut off the hands of all they wished to take alive, and made them carry them fastened onto them, and said, "Go and carry letters, that is, take the news to those who have fled to the mountains." You have yet to restore this people. Relations between explorers and American Indians often began peacefully with trade. The Europeans traded items such as glass beads and metal objects. Some explorers tried to establish settlements. The American Indians usually did not mind as long as the white men did not disturb their hunting or fishing grounds, which was a transgression, hunting and fishing, okay? Other explorers came to conquer the people they met. So clearly there is a difference between some other Europeans that came to make settlements, all right, and live among us, all right, and from the others who came to conquer, all right. Other explorers came to conquer the people they met and burned villages, captured slaves, and took whatever items they could. Okay, took whatever items that they could use. Many European explorers viewed the native people as inferior. Most North and Central American tribes had well-organized societies. But American Indian life was very different from European life. Some tribes dressed in animal skins or loincloths. Some moved from place to place as they hunted and fished. European explorers did not try to understand or appreciate this way of life. So they considered us wild or savage. Most Europeans viewed the quote savages of North America as uncivilized and fierce. When native peoples fought against white settlers invading their lands, their attacks were often described as being savage, but the American Indians certainly had cause for anger. This is how we were depicted before colonization and before whitewashing. Great Seal of the island of California. You would consider her black today. You will be one to call her an African American. But this is the Queen of California. Let's get a little bit more. The things that you would do. This is also on the island of Hispaniola. The people began to realize that the men could not in truth have descended from the heavens. Some of them started to conceal what food they had. Others decided to send their women and children into hiding. Why? Because they were raping the women and the children and some of the men. And yet others took to the hills to get away from the brutal and ruthless cruelty that was being inflicted on them. The Christians punched them, boxed their ears, and flogged them in order to track down the local leaders. And the whole shameful process came to an end when one of the European commanders raped the wife of the paramount chief of the entire island. It was then that the locals began to think up ways of driving the Europeans off of their lands and to take up arms against them. Their weapons, however, were flimsy and ineffective, both in attack and in defense. And indeed, war in the Americas is no more deadly than our jousting. There was no might in our hands, and all of this was biblical prophecy. We fell to these ruthless people. And to this day, we are still in captivity due to their economic slavery. When you steal the land of a people and you steal all of their resources, you even steal their identity and give them a false identity, Black American, African American, Negro, all of these stigmas, all of these labels, bruh, how do you expect us to live? Who do you expect us to be so we're nothing but the scum of the earth? This is what they did to us. And you continuously want to look your nose down upon us. But understand that your time is up. Now, hold on a second.
You know, how we were reverencing them, all right? Following after their God, okay? Welcoming them, okay? We welcome them over here to this land, was very, very open-hearted with them, opened up our land to them, was very warm to them, very loving, very kind, very giving. And then all of a sudden, they usurped us, literally took over our land. Now we are known all over the world as the scum of the earth, and Europeans just been living lavishly this whole damn time. Okay? I'm speaking as a whole. Alright? I know that there's many European.
Now, hold on a second, because yes, we're speaking as a whole, okay? Just like I know that there's some of my people that appear to be prominent, some of my people that appear to be wealthy. Oh, well, yes, because they done sold out to the damn beast, okay? They made covenants with the worst of the heathen, okay? Just like I am very well aware that there are some righteous Europeans out there, okay? Not all Europeans are wholly wicked, okay? But let's read here. Enoch 102, 10 through 12. We hoped indeed to have been the head, but we have become the tail. We have been afflicted when we have exerted ourselves, but we have been devoured by sinners and the ungodly. Their yoke has been heavy upon us. Those have exercised dominion over us, who detest and who goad us, and to those who hate us. We have humbled our neck, but they have shown no compassion towards us. Okay? Now, 1 second. This right here is imbalanced. Okay? As a whole, Europeans are living up here. As a whole, so-called black people are living down here. Okay? This is biblical prophecy fulfilled. If the fall of us be the riches of the world, which I brought out earlier in the video that I dropped before this, and a diminishing of us, the riches of the Gentiles, that's exactly why you are in a position that you're in. How much more our fullness? See, we have come back in the spirit and in truth. We are free spiritually, mentally, and we are caused to speak these words to give you a divine opportunity to change your heart. Because they lied to you. Why are we told that all of these atrocities that happen to us has absolutely nothing to do with our impoverished circumstances, as if it's not the very reason why the European nations and all nations of Psalms 83 have been on top of the economic system enjoying their blessing. Because that's exactly what it is. It has everything to do with that. Take away the things that happened in colonization and ever since, and we would not be in a position that we're in. Neither would you. So it is something that needs to be acknowledged and dealt with. Not swept up under the rug. And you're professing out your mouth, John 3:16. Let's just love everybody, because you don't love us. You love your money. You love your status. And you hate us. You have deceived yourself. Gonna stop playing with us.
All right, I know that there's many Europeans that are struggling today. Okay, but for a long time, the Europeans have been on top running things. Okay, we've been living during the times of the Gentiles. All right, so it's been the red carpet laid out for white America. Okay. And that just is what it is. This was the final part of the earth that you were allowed to take over and rule. Okay? And you have yet to restore the indigenous seed of this land.
Check out the face in the sun. Let's check out. See America right here. Let me see if I can make it smaller. Check out California was an island.
Yep, and the Red Sea. You can see, well, I can't see it on this one, it's too small. But I have a map. I have a map of California, of the United States, that says the Red Sea right there. It's depicted as an island. California is depicted as an island, and that canal there, that space there, is known as the Red Sea. Okay, and it has a red tide. Okay, it gets a red tide. Okay, like bruh, you cannot make this up. Okay.
No, let me show you that red tide. 1 second. There you have it, people. Alright, this is the Red Sea, the red tide of the Red Sea, okay? See that? Ain't no making this up, people. Oh. Gulf of California red tide. It's called the Red Sea for a reason. Okay? Now, the Red Sea that they want to call the Red Sea over in the so-called Middle East, it doesn't even get a red tide. They just decided to name that the Red Sea. Okay? Well, let's look at this.
San Diego researchers got an unprecedented look at an algal bloom, a major red tide event, in April and May of 2020.
During the day is a rust-colored, very red-colored surface ocean. You can see it even as the waves are breaking. The white of the breaking waves has almost some pink to it.
But at night, the plankton responsible for the phenomenon turned the waves into a light show.
When they're disturbed, they release flashes of light.
Doesn't matter what they say, bro. This is the red tide, okay? This is the real Red Sea, alright? These Gentiles are always trying to explain shit, but they have no understanding, okay? Now, red tide of the Gulf of California, alright? Red tide, it glows, okay? This is the real Red Sea, okay? It's depicted on this ancient map. Now, if you want to continue to believe what you have been taught by the colonizers, then you have every right to do that, okay? You got free agency. But clearly, California is depicted as an island here on this old-ass map. Alright, this is before, they even started, naming the states and stuff, okay? Parts unknown, alright? New Mexico, alright? Gulf of California, or Red Sea, okay? 1 second. Alright. Let's get another map. See? Red Sea. New Albion, California. Okay, Gulf of California, Red Sea right there. Okay. This kind of looks the same. Yeah. Red Sea, Gulf of California. Okay. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica and old maps from the 1700s, the Red Sea was in the United States, near California. Why don't modern history books mention this? California depicted as an island. Okay? Now, there you have it, people. The real Red Sea. Okay? The real Red Sea is here. This is the true biblical land. As a matter of fact, before I even started this, I was looking up something. Soil wealth. Why North America feeds the world. Because it is the promised land. Okay? North America is blessed with a disproportionate share of the world's best agricultural soil. Okay? It's a blessed land. Alright? The land of Shem. The land that was given to Shem. Now, when I typed in African soil, 40% of Africa is dry. Soils have very low organic matter and low moisture levels. Many African soils in the tropics can be very old, often reflecting the dramatic changes in climate and vegetation, intensely weathered, low in nutrients. Okay? So clearly, that is not the biblical land. The true biblical land is fertile. Okay? And the best agricultural land in the world. That's why all nations flock to America to live the American dream.
See that right there? It's the same map, right?
Yeah.
Check out the Americans,
Wow.
the American Indians.
Wow.
Right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. If you guys can't really see, let me see. If I can zoom in real quick.
Wow.
This is as close as I can get to zooming in. Look at their facial features, the hair,
Yeah.
skin complexion, even the people in the background.
Yeah.
See the folks over here.
The Shemites, bro. We're Shemites. And this was our land.
Yeah, check that out. And let me see if I can pull up what the Africans look like compared to the Americans. Alright, so this is the best I could do,
Oh, wow.
side by side, top to bottom.
They're
You see
depicted
the
much
difference
darker.
between the two. Very, very, very huge difference between the two, how they were depicted. So let me see if I can scroll in, zoom in. This is the best I could do. They don't have like any feather kilts,
Nope.
no headdress with the feathers, no tobacco leaves, no bow, no arrow, nothing like that. And then you see the feather kilt, the feather headdress. It's a huge difference between the two when you put them side by side like that, or top to bottom. And that's the best I can do. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so you can tell what the Americans look like and what they look like today. They look like this, the real Americans, the only Americans. And then they have a distinct difference between the Africans.
Not to mention the skin tone. Like we have a copper colored skin, okay, and Africans are depicted as, you know, as dark as the soil, like deep dark soil, okay. Not hating on them or nothing like that, but like a rich dark soil, like a rich soil, brown, a rich brown, like really dark. Okay, I don't know any other word to describe it, but there's a difference between a copper color brown and the deeply rich, you know, almost blackish brown. Okay, and as my brother stated, they didn't wear no feathers, or, you know, no feather kilts and stuff like that. They didn't have no bow and arrow. Okay, that was a custom of the Americans.
Nor did they have tobacco leaf and stuff like that. That was also a custom of the Americans. Okay, the tobacco, all right, all in the cannabis, okay, all of that is, you know, American, and the islands, okay, like Jamaica and whatnot. All right, now also, you know, those that set themselves up in authority, they know all of this. Okay, those who set themselves up in authority, they know all of this. Okay, 1 second. All right, now Noah brought his sons and his grandsons, and he blessed them with their several settlements, and he gave them as an inheritance all the earth. He especially blessed Shem and his sons, making them dark but comely, all right, copper colored but comely, and he gave them the habitable earth. Okay, the lands that have seasons. Okay, he blessed Ham and his sons, making them dark like the raven. And he gave them an inheritance the coast of the sea and all the hot lands. Okay, is hot year around. Okay, he blessed Japheth and his sons, making them entirely white, okay, or pale skin, and gave them for an inheritance the desert and its fields. And these are the inheritances with which he endowed them. Now, a lot of the Japheth was given the cold lands, okay? Cold year round, okay? Because of the pale skin, all right? Now, also, from the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, I actually want to get this one right here. All right, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and the Canaanites. Okay, not Jew, but Hebrew. Okay, Shem. All right. African, okay? Ham, all right? American, all right? Hebrew, but we are the original Americans, okay? Yes, we don't all come from Africa, okay? Some of us are indigenous to this land. This is the land of Shem, okay? Now, 1 second. This is from the book of Jubilees, chapter 8. All right. Now come on down here to verse 29. This is the land which came forth for Japheth and his sons as a portion of his inheritance, which he should possess for himself and his sons, for their generations forever. 5 great islands, and a great land in the north. Okay? But it was cold, and the land of Ham is hot, and the land of Shem is neither hot nor cold, but it is a blended of cold and heat. Okay? We have all 4 seasons. Shem's land has all 4 seasons. Ham's land is hot year round. Japheth's land is cold year round. Okay? Now that is not to say that, there can't, be harmony and peace, and we all, bruh, could y'all not see that? I don't know if y'all could or not. Y'all couldn't see any of that, could you? Or did I just? Well, never mind. Anyway, that's not to say that there can't be peace and, say some from the seed of Japheth would like to dwell with the Shemitic people. That is no problem. Alright, and it's always been that way. Shem has always had a mixed multitude. The Israelites always had a mixed multitude of people that hung around them. Okay? So this is not saying that, you can't be on this land or nothing like that, bro. But when you are in someone's house, you will want to respect them, wouldn't you? Okay? So that's all we're saying. You and then to come into the realization that what really happened, you will want to do what you can to help us, okay? Not continuously downtrot us and look your nose down at us and, claim that we're lying or claim that we're hateful. Claim that we're arrogant and all of these things that you do, projecting your false realities onto us. That ain't righteous. That ain't real love. Some of us really just want to freaking be free. Okay? To not be up under economic captivity. I deserve to have my land. I deserve to have my resources. Okay? Everyone deserves to have a roof over their head. Everyone deserves to be able to eat. Everyone deserves to have clean water. Everyone deserves to be free, people. Not up under subjection to wicked people.
So we're going to pull up this article and we're going to talk about one of the source. So we're going to read and dodge the hijack at the same time, right? It says the Seminole Indian Scouts, right? By this guy in the 1800s. So it said the Seminole Indian Scouts never at any time mustered more than 50 men, which is a lie. Operating on both sides of the Rio Grande during the Indian fighting period of the 1870s and the early 1880s were effective far out of proportion to their numbers, right? Although, listen to this, although frequently referred to and then he tried to downplay it by merely as Indian Scouts and Seminole Scouts. So they themselves, the Indians, hey, do not refer to us as no damn Negro or no black.
Right.
Because we're not Spanish, we're not Negroes, and we're not black. Our skin complexion, if anything, is brown or copper.
Yes.
But yet, these people, even though they say, hey, we refer to Indian Scouts or Seminole Scouts, he was like, oh, but their official designation was more accurate. So they try to levy that Negro crap on them. So when you keep reading, and then you come down to the source, and you see that engine there again, right? So let's check out the source from number 2. It's a 2.
Wow. The older Seminole who had been brought up in the United States wore their native garb by preference and spoke Hitchiti or...
Hold on, I gotta find where the hell I'm reading. Let's see.
That Negro crap on them. So when you keep reading, and then you come down to the source.
Hold on, is this it?
The older Seminole who had been brought up in the United States wore their native garb by preference and spoke Hitchiti or Muskogee. Some had archived such a blending of the two principal elements of their culture that in their Baptist praise houses they even prayed in, quote, Injun. Wow. What was most important as frontier scouts, whether born in Florida, Alabama, the Indian Territory, or Mexico, all were Indian in their trailing, hunting, and fighting skills. Their Indianism, however, was not that of the wild, nomadic, predatory Comanche and Apache, but rather that of the sedentary, semi-civilized Seminole and Creek. So they're saying that the Comanche and the Apache Indians were warriors, basically. But the Seminole and the Creek were peaceful unless they were provoked to fight back. But really there was no might in our hands. So we were overtaken. And it was prophecy that has been fulfilled.
Next to it. So we come down to the 2. You see 1 and you see 2, right? So we're going to talk about 1. So let's go up to 1. It says, although a good many were out undoubtedly of part Indian, which is a lie, ancestry, the scouts were hardly distinguishable, racially from the soldiers of the colored infantry and cavalry regiment with whom they frequently served. So if you can't tell them apart, that means they're the same damn people, right? And I've showed you the maps of what they all look like, and I'm going to be showing you plenty of maps. But let's check out what this guy is. This guy right here, number 1, Melville J. Herskovitz, right? Because he's trying to be like, oh, he pointed out that the Negroes have mingled with the American Indians on a scale hitherto unrealized. Approximately 1/3 of the general Negro population in the United States, according to samplings, are of part Indian ancestry. But for some reason, you can't tell them apart, right? And let's backtrack real quick. So these people are saying, okay, the Indians are from America, right? The American Indians from America. And the Negroes are supposedly, in this context, are from Africa. But you notice that they never, ever, ever tell you where in Africa these supposed African slaves came from. So we pull up a few folks that had a hand in amongst many other folks. So anybody that's trying to be like, oh, you black, or you Negro, or you slave descendant, and they haven't done any genealogy on you, they basically trying to take your identity, your heritage, even subconsciously, if they're not saying that out loud, because we have people right here like Melvin Herskovitz, who was a genocidal lie of American Indians coming from African slaves only. And he along with Walter Placker and this guy, Alice Herdlicka Eugenis, many people like them, when you go down the rabbit hole and just start typing in their names, they have a hand in trying to steal your heritage of the real and only American Indians. Because again, whenever we say, okay, if you think that they are from Africa, where in Africa? Where is the port number? What's the vessel number? What language did they speak? What African name did they have? Right? Any kind of dialect, their name, anything. Because American Indians don't subconsciously have anything of African identity. Their names are Indian. For instance, Shaniqua, right? There's only one group in the world that have names like that. Shaniqua, Shanique, Taekwon, Jaquan, names like that. I did a whole video on just the type of Indian names. If you want to know, let us know in the comments. We'll send you that video. It's really in depth of how it's impossible for American Indians to be from Africa at any point in time. We have nothing like anything African at all. Especially when you come to the National Archives and Records Administration, and you read the highlighted portion, and it says the censuses for 1790 and 1810 lists free non-whites in a category titled All Other Free Persons. However, there is no distinction made between free blacks in this context and Native Americans not on reservations, meaning they were the same people. They just got reclassified.
Right.
And we did a whole video on the reclassification as well. So if you need that video, be very specific so we can send that video to you as well. So we're gonna take a walk to the West Indies real quick, and we're gonna read something about that as well.
Now, I'm gonna try to remember to link this video so that you can like literally go watch this whole video, okay? But bruh, I'm not gonna get a lot of this because I got a lot of stuff that I gotta do today, okay? So I just wanted to get that little bit right there. You know, this truth is going out, okay? This truth is going forth. As you can see, this brother posted this video 2 months ago, well, around February 12th of 2024. Okay. So we are prisoners of war on this land because our enemies are running it. Okay. They built their system on our land. Okay. And we have no might in our hands to get it back. Okay, physically. The only might that we have in our hands is spiritual. Okay? So, and that comes with obedience, okay? That comes with obedience to the leading of the Holy Spirit. Alright? Now, on that note, shalom. It comes with obedience to coming back to the divine law of love. That's something that people need to realize. Okay? Because we are not Gentiles. We don't have That's not who we are. So we're going to have to unlearn that, my people. We're not capitalistic, okay? We are a very generous people. We are a very loving people, okay? We need to come back to that. Remember who you are. You are love, okay? You are not cruel, all right? Now, I know that a lot of my people, they are wholly wicked, okay? They literally made covenants with the worst of the heathen, all right? In order to bow down to the god of money, okay? They got the mark of the beast in their forehead. So I am not discounting that, all right? I'm just saying, this is not who we originally were. However, there was always, plenty of our people who were stiff-necked, okay? Which caused our damn captivity in the first damn place, okay? So, that being said, people, we are at the end. Really, it has nothing to do with your nationality, bloodline, skin color, or any of that, okay? What truly matters is what's in your heart. Okay? What truly matters is if you have a moralistic bone in your body, okay? You know right from wrong, okay? Now, if you have morals, bruh, you would know that we should be restored, okay? To our natural land, okay? Here. And, compensated for all the hell that we have endured for centuries, okay? The identity theft, land theft, theft of all of our everything, okay? And then the mocking, the stigmatizing, the labeling, the reclassifying, the slander, all of this. Like, bruh, this happened to us. And if you keep that stony heart like we do not deserve to be restored, woe be unto you. Okay? This truth is going forward. And ain't no stopping it. Okay? You did not bring us over here on slave ships from Africa. We are the original Americans. And you are a foreigner on our ancestral land.
No. That is all of that. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and close out of the YouTube. So I don't need it anymore. Well, actually I do. But we're going to go to my channel. Let's see. So I want to show. We're gonna be wrapping this up here really soon. But I'm led to show how this truth is pretty much hated. Okay. 15 people viewed the last video. Only 5 people is reacting to it, okay? As you can see, the views and the likes are really low on this content, okay? Really low. Alright, see? As I continue to put out this work, bruh. 61 views in the last 48 hours. I'm doing my part. I put out a video 2 days earlier And my channel was ghosted, as you can see. None in the last 60 minutes. Okay? Don't even look like, they watching the whole video of there's different levels of the kingdom. Okay? Looks like a lot of people watched all of this, but again, you saw that the likes were very, very low. Okay? Not many people viewed much of this. Okay? So you can just see, alright? I ain't doing this for clout and status. I'm doing it because it is a spiritual calling. Okay? Now, on that note, people, oh yeah, there was a song that was kind of like in the making of. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stream that. 1 second. Because it was recorded on the same day that I recorded this audio, on 4/20, entitled "It Is Finished." Okay, and like I said, it's kind of like in the making, so it was kind of like, freestyle, so you'll see. All right. At some point in time I'll perfect it, but for now it's raw. Okay, let's go ahead and stream this, and then I'm gonna get the heck up off of here.
Yeah, we're at the end of the worst of the heathen. End of the worst of the heathen. We're at the end of the worst of the heathen. End of the worst of the heathen. We're at the end of the worst of the heathen. We all got our vices. Yeah, we all got our vices. At the end of this system, we all got our vices. Yeah, we're at the end of the worst of the heathen. And we all got our vices. At the end of this wickedness, yeah, the end of this system. Oh man, we're at the end of the worst of the heathen. The end of the worst of the heathen. We're at the end of the worst of the heathen. And we all got our vices. At the end of this wickedness, yeah, the end of this system. Oh man, where is all that's said and done? Where is all that's said and done? We will all lift our voices and say it is finished. We say it is finished. We say it is finished. We say it is finished. Yeah, we all lift our voices in one accord in unison. We say it is finished. Yeah, it is finished. We're at the end of the worst of the heathen. We all got our vices. At the end of this wickedness, yeah, the end of this system. When it's all that's said and done, we will all lift our voices in righteousness and unison. That it is finished. Yeah, it is finished. It is finished. Yeah, it is finished. We're at the end of the worst of the heathen. And we all got our vices. At the end of this wickedness, yeah, the end of this system. When it's all that's said and done, we will all lift our voices in righteousness and unison. and say it is finished. We say it is finished. Yeah, it is finished. It is finished. At the end of the worst of the heathen. We're at the end of the worst of the heathen. And we all got our vices. At the end of this wickedness. Yeah, the end of this system. We will all lift our voices and declare in righteousness that it is finished. Yeah, it is finished.
Yes, it is finished. All of their destruction that they did to us. We are about to be restored. You are in a valley of decision. You want to continue to be complacent with all that's happened to us? That is your choice. But you only have two options: righteousness or wickedness, good or evil. Okay? Shalom.